Hello and welcome to our video today. Hope you're all keeping well and have started growing your seeds and looking forward to the summer, to them growing and you using them. I'm doing this video in conjunction with our local library and the Grow It Forward campaign, growing vegetables for yourself to eat. So I have already done a video on seed sowing, and the next part of the video is on the next part of the work. So I have planted I'm going to talk about the Oriental salad leaves first. I planted them in this seed tray 2 weeks ago. They've germinated very nicely, and now it's time to transplant them. So when a seed grows, the first set of leaves is called the cotyledons, and they nourish the seed and help to grow the plant. And once the plant has 2 leaves or more, it's time to transplant them on. So I have watered this well. I've looked after it since I planted it. I have every day either made sure it was wet enough and didn't dry out, and not too wet is important as well. So now it's time to transplant them. I have these Oriental leaves I'm going to transplant into a window box, and in this window box I have plenty of good quality compost again. Just fill it up another little bit with some more compost, because the better the plant, the better the vegetable. Transplanting them now, I have to be very careful, and I'm going to take them. Sorry, now I need a little instrument. I'm going to take the plant, hold it by its leaf when you're transplanting it, and pick it up like that out of the container and put it back into this one. Now I should have given this a little bang, a little firm over. It's hard to think of everything when you're doing this. And then just plant it in there to the container. And put some compost around it. Hold it by the leaf, not the stem. I think I said that. And I'm going and put some more compost around it, so it's nice and firm in the container. I need some more compost in this container. You don't find going through the compost. So now, that's my first one transplanted, and it did very nicely, came out very nicely for me. Second one, again holding it by the leaf, and I'm going to put it in here at the other side. Give them all plenty of room to grow as well. Don't overcrowd them, because the more you have okay. So the really important part now is to look after these. You just can't leave them and let them to their own devices. They need to be looked after. And today is the first day that these little plants have been outside. They have been in my living room up to now on a sunny windowsill. So they're outside now. And the next step is to harden them off, which means bring them out during the day and bring them in at night. So they're coming on, it's working well for me here now. Bring them in at night, and that's for about a week, until the risk of frost is over and until they have hardened up a little bit. It's time-consuming work, but at the end, the taste of these lovely salad leaves is worth every bit of this. And it's amazing. Salad leaves, Oriental leaves, germinate very quickly, and it is wonderful just to see them even germinating. The leaves coming from a little seed. So now, that's our window box planted up. And the next thing would be to water it. You can leave it on a windowsill, or you can a windowsill, or at your door in a nice sunny spot, where you can pick it up. I planted some leaves in this about a month ago, and I'm able to use them now. They've been outside for the last 3 weeks, I would say, and it's lovely to be able to just pick them as you want them and use them. Now we're going to pause because it's raining here. Well, we're back again. It's a day of sunshine and showers. But we have our lettuce transplanted into our window box now. You can bring it in, as I said, bring it in the evening, put it out in the day for a week, and then you can leave it out altogether. Now the next plant I'm doing is the beetroot seeds. We planted the beetroot seeds in a modular tray, so we planted one seed to each section, and again they germinated quite nicely. So to plant them on, I'm going to plant them into a 6-pack, which I would have got some plants in last year perhaps, or the year before. I've washed it out with water and bread soda, and now again I am using my compost to fill up the tray. So that should be nearly enough, I think. Okay, so now the beetroot. Again, the beetroot has germinated nicely. The idea of planting it in the modular tray was that you'd be able to take out each plant with a nice root system. So I watered this well again this morning to make sure, and there we are. Very good. So I'll plant that in here, make a nice hole in the center, and plant my beetroot down and put it, again holding it by the leaf rather than the stem, and firm it in with some nice compost. So that's the first one done successfully. Another one. And there's nothing like the taste of these delicious beetroots. You'll absolutely love them. It's amazing the difference in the vegetables you grow yourself. I even was making a sponge cake yesterday, and I was using organic eggs, and the difference in the colour of the sponge cake in comparison to using other eggs was amazing. It was yellow instead of white. Anyway, back to growing the vegetables. So now they have more compost, more nourishment and more nutrition. I see there's 2 of them in some of these little sections, so I'll do that later. I'll try and get the ones with the 1 in. They've gone a little bit leggy on me, but they should be okay. That's too much light, I think. Now beetroot grow nicely, and they're a hardy little plant, and really the slugs don't get near them, which is great, because the slugs can be a big nuisance and it's hard to keep them away. There's 2 seeds in that little section, so I'm able to use the 2 of them. Seeds are so small when you're planting them, it can easily happen that you plant 2. So there again, that's my little 6-pack of beetroot planted up. You can plant that into the garden later, or into a bigger container, whatever you have. Or as the idea of the Grow It Forward, that's not campaign is to share everything. You could give this 6-pack of beetroot to your friend or neighbour. I've already done one out here, which is a lovely gift for somebody. I'm saving all these plastic trays that I'm getting with different things in them at the moment, and they're very handy. You can just leave the 6-pack into it and it fits nicely in, and there's plenty. You make sure that it doesn't dry out. So that's our beetroot, and now we'll go forward to planting some seeds in the garden. Well, we're out here now and we're going to plant some more seed in my raised bed. I had this area covered with plastic, just like I've done down there until today, to warm up the soil. So I'm going to sow some peas along here. These were some canes that I had and I put along. This is, you can use some chicken wire here to cling the peas to, or this is netting I had for keeping the birds away from the blueberries. I wanted to have some blueberries for myself, but the netting got torn, so I've reused it here. The soil here, I've added some compost to it, but I'm adding a little bit of soil renew. It's an organic fertilizer again, and so we want to try and keep everything as organic and as natural as possible, especially when we're growing our vegetables. Okay, I think I got this from Mr. Middleton, mail order. Right, and now to sow my peas, I'm going to make a little drill along here. Alright, nice fine soil. The peas I got from the Grow It Forward campaign, I've obviously given away because I gave plenty to my neighbours and friends. So these are other peas I bought, and I'm going to plant these ones. So I'm going to just plant them about 2 inches apart in the soil. They can be planted directly into the soil now at the moment. I can just about reach the far end there with the peas. So that's them, and cover them over then with the compost. Nice and firm it in then. And I will plant another row or two of them here in front of that, and I put up some more canes. And peas are absolutely delicious. You can eat them as they're sprouting, as sprouting greens. You can wait until they form in their pods and eat them, and you can eat them raw out of the pods. They're absolutely delicious. And like every other thing, water it in, and again keep them watered. Now the next thing I'm going to do that we got in the Grow It Forward pack are the carrots. Carrots are more difficult to grow. They take longer to germinate, and so you have to be very careful with carrot fly as well. Carrot fly attacks them when you're thinning out the carrots, so I'm going to try and plant the carrots as finely as possible in my bed. Last year I did them in a big container. That was great. I didn't thin them out at all, but they were absolutely delicious. So the seed is very small, and again I'm going to just down here, I'm making a little drill. Michael tells me there was a white powder you used to use years ago with the carrot seed, so that you to keep away the carrot fly. I don't know if that's still available or what it is. So if anybody likes to let me know the answer to that question, I'd be delighted. So sparingly. So I won't have to tin them out is the idea. You get plenty of seed in each packet. They need a good deep soil as well, so that they don't hit stones on the way down. You get plenty of seed in each packet, and you can keep them for next year or give them to your friends. So I'm just showing you briefly how to do this, and again I will plant more, and I'll plant another row a foot apart, and I'm going to cover that in, and again I'll water it. Now it's also important to label them. You think when you're doing it that you'll just remember where and what you did, but it's always important to put down the vegetable and the date. Now, and I was going to plant a few more of the salad leaves here, some seed this time. So now you can plant out the seed. It's okay to plant out the seed now. So this is a mix of Oriental greens, and again these keep from year to year. You know, you get 200 seed in a pack or something, but they keep from year to year. So I'm planting them over here with a fine drill. And again, you needn't be worried about carrot fly or anything with these. You can just plant them a little bit thicker, and you have a lovely variety of leaves to come that you can cut and come again, which is brilliant about these. The idea would be to plant a few every 2 or 3 weeks, so that you have a succession of seed coming along. Now the problem with the lettuce is I see already I had some planted out and the slugs are attacking them. I should cover that over now before I do any more, and I should label it again. So I'll write up the label afterwards. I'll just put it where the seed are there. And that's some Oriental leaves. The slugs I was talking about, they're attacking. This is an organic slug barrier. So the idea is it's like grit that you would shake it along here. I got this in my local garden centre here last year from Laura. Are broken up eggshells either. They don't like crossing the eggshells. So that's another way of keeping them out. That's this, hopefully, because it's awful when you come out and find the things eaten by the slugs. And this is a product that I will use to feed the plants every 3 or 4 weeks. It's 100% Irish, natural and organic. It's made with seaweed and it's produced by Better Plants, a local company in Mullingar, where you can order them online. And he has lots of all kinds of fertilizers for your fruit and your vegetables. And you can see him at www.betterplants.ie. So that's it at the moment. We'll do the tomato plants later. And now for the tomato plants. The tomato plant that the Grow It Forward campaign gave us is Sun Gold. It's a lovely cherry tomato, delicious tomato. So, they're like the other seeds, they're easy to germinate, but you need to grow your tomatoes in either a tunnel, a glass house, or you can try growing them in your house if you wish. This is one that has germinated nicely here in the little container. And I have some more that I planted on that I have to plant out. But this is one now that I have a while. I just want to show it to you at this stage. You wait until they're pencil thick to plant them on. This is good and tall. One of the main things about it is the little side shoots here. You need to pinch them out, and by pinching them out, the plant produces more fruit. So that's what you do. You water the plant, plant it as deep as possible. I'm planting it into this pot. Even last year I used bigger pots than this. So I'm going to take off the bottom leaves off this. By taking off the bottom leaves and planting it deep, I'm encouraging better root growth, and better root growth makes a better, sturdier plant. So I have so if you're planting it in your tunnel, your soil, I'm using a tomato bag, a grow bag here, so there's food in it for a few weeks, and I'm taking it out of the pot. Good root system. I'm planting it as deep as possible into the container. And now I'm going to fill it up with some more compost. If you wet the compost or the ground very, very well before you plant the tomato in, and plant the tomato, water it, and leave it then for 4 or 5 days without water, the roots will start looking for water, and that will help with the growth of the plant as well, and it getting nice and sturdy. So they need minding. You need to water them every second day. You need to look at them every day. Water them from the bottom. That helps with the root growth as well. It brings the roots down looking for water, and it makes stronger plants. And feed them. They need to be fed once a week. I'm using this Better Tomatoes. It's seaweed and potassium feed. It's from Better Plants in Mullingar, and it's going to help feed my plants. You need to stake it. So I have a big tall cane here, but they do go to 4 or 5 foot. I'm not sure what height this one is, but they do grow quite tall, And then I have some tree ties that I'm going to tie it to the cane with. But you can use a little bit of twine or string, whatever you have available to you. Oh, it's a beautiful morning here again. Now, and there's a side shoot here. Look at this one here. So I'm going to take that off there, just snap it off like that. Don't let them develop. And there's, I don't know if you can see that, the little flowers developing on the tomato plant. So that's what's going to produce the tomatoes. And as it grows, you take off more bottom leaves so that the plant doesn't get too heavy. And that's about it for tomato plants. Keep it in a tunnel or glass house, and keep it watered and fed. So now we have our little garden created from the seeds we got from Grow It Forward through our library. We have our tomato plant, we have our Oriental leaves here in the window box that are coming on nicely, and we plant more later. We have our beetroot planted out into our 6-pack, and our carrots here that are a lot slower to germinate, but they're coming on, and our peas are in the ground. I hope you have enjoyed our videos of sowing the seed, growing your vegetables, and that you will enjoy your salad leaves, beetroot, tomatoes when they ripen. It takes the tomatoes a good many months before they actually produce the fruits, but when they do, they produce plenty of fruits. So with that, I want to thank Michael for being the cameraman, and I've enjoyed doing the videos, and I hope they've been some help to you, and I wish you all a very happy summer and happy growing. Thank you.